When I'm sitting down like this, not standing in front of my workbench, my paintball workbench, means it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. Hi, Andrew from C1D Paintball, and you might be able to tell already by the serious music in the background, the intro, this is a bit more of a serious game. It is part, look, I'm settling in here, settling my hat in. It is part of the series of games where it was the MAGFED boys, that's myself, Connor, Matthew, and Killhit, although Connor did switch from MAGFED to Hopper the game before this one. But we're playing against 5 guys that had hoppers all day. Now, there was a father and son on the other team. Great father and son duo. A lot of fun to play against them. Of course, I can relate to that because I've been playing with my son for years. So they were great. Now, the other 3 guys on that team, I don't have, they're not horrible human beings or anything. But you probably, if you've seen some of our other videos, you know that these are the 3 guys that bought lots of paint that day, would sit in the back at spawn and just wait for us to run low on ammo and kind of prevail that way. The only game they lost on this day was a capture the flag where sitting back and camping like that at spawn was not advantageous. You need to, I mean, we know the map very well, the players on our side, but map knowledge has to be weighed with other factors. And for capture the flag, that's definitely in our favor. But I mean, when we got magazines and we're playing straight old team deathmatch, it can be tough. And the game before the one you're about to watch was Kill Confirmed, which was a stalemate. Of course it's going to be a stalemate because you know, we know the map well. We're playing 2x2 our side, generally speaking, through the game, and they sat by spawn, and we're able to tag their teammates very quickly. Nothing wrong with this. We just kind of stepped up since everybody had experience on the field, and it made an interesting day paintball. But now we find ourselves on tires. We've had a bunch of games where we're facing this situation. We're up to it, we're challenged, but we're on tires. We're spawning east, the lower ground, and they got one more guy than us. Big disadvantage going into this one. However, despite everything that's happening and that, you know, we've only won 1 and we tied 1, we feel this has been still a good day, a good challenging day for us. It's been fun, but this is going to be our biggest test yet. Now, I've come to like this tire map. I generally don't like tire maps. I've come to like this one, but no matter what you think of tire maps, generally speaking, this is my opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree, tire maps can be very heated. They are usually intense. There can be a lot of games, you have a lot of fun games, but generally speaking, if you were to say, are there more intense battles on this one, or is it looser? It tends to be more intense. And after everything we've been through this day, it's gonna be intense. Connor and I are taking positions that we've done before on this. Connor, like I mentioned, the last game, the stalemate, on Kill Confirmed, he changed to a hopper. So he's got a hopper here again. He's going to sit back at spawn where he can see the field very well, and he's going to call out to the rest of us what's going on. He can do some long balling there. Long balls don't break all the time, but he's got all the shots. He's going to use his mouth a lot. He's going to talk. He's going to not trash talk per se, but just engage the enemy if they're going to continue to do what they've been doing. It's a part of the game. He's going to be loud. He's going to be vocal back there, draw their attention. I'm going to be in front of him. So to the left of spawn on the map, actually it's the east side. Matthew is going to take the right side, pretty much lined up with me. We want at least from spawn, and Killhit effectively will fill the gap behind behind Matthew, kind of be like Connor, but on the right side, but he's going to move up, be more mobile, where Connor's going to kind of be a tank. Just, you know, he's the artillery bombing it in there. And that's how we're approaching this one. Not a lot of movement in this one. On a map like this, especially spawning on the side we're at, there's not a lot of movement. And because we're geared and we're taking this seriously, we're not being ultra try-hard, we're taking it pretty seriously, we don't have to move. I don't have to think when the camera's on my head, is this going to be entertaining? Most of the time it isn't anyway, even when I'm trying to make it entertaining. But it's a serious one, a lot of fun. And as I edited this and laid it out, before I do this script and talk to you guys, I've obviously watched what happened, and I write what I'm going to talk about. I got a lot to say about this one, and I think it really was a great match. Again, the other team, those three guys, I call them the big three. There's nothing wrong with the way they played. They're doing walk-in. They're not regular players, they say, but they play a lot. They come out, so they're pretty decent players. We didn't go to the ref and tell them, hey man, you guys got to move up, you can't play that, because we were challenged by this. And certainly by this major disadvantage going into this one, we want to face the toughest challenge of the day. So without further ado, here we go. You think? Get your plug in. Yeah, I used to vividly hate this map, but then the last game I played, rather, not the last game, I played one game and did really hate Chipmunk. Oh, fella, you better get the hell out of here. You gotta start back here, right? I'm going with this, I'm not going to point right now. I'm going to go to this stack 2 of ahead of us here. You can have a good angle and call out there. I got a good angle here. All right, so I'm in my position. I love this spot. And Connor right away paying dividends, doing what we wanted him to do. He's in the back, he calls out that at the forest, kind of on the forest line, on the back right, to my right, so on the west of the map, southwest of the map, he spots enemy there. Now you can't go into the forest on this map, but some of the tires are right near it, so the guy isn't out of bounds, but he's right along the forest line. Pretty much what's been happening all day. They're back there, they're kind of waiting, and they're shooting from a distance, waiting for us to run out of ammo or make mistakes. I mean, at the end of the day, I think paintball is about capitalizing on the other team's mistakes. Now, to my right, of course, we need Matthew and Kill Hit to get in position. But otherwise, you know, nothing surprising so far. Right by the forest? Okay. Wait it out here, boys. You guys see any movement? Oops. You know where I am. Now, it seems probably the guy that Connor called out before on the back tree line there to my right, probably he took a shot, so I had a ball break in the barrier in front of me, splash there. It's gonna happen, they know where I am. There's only so many barriers we can be behind in this. Now I will be peeking in the gaps between the tires here. I normally wouldn't do that if, say, there was a bunch of rentals, noobs coming in, taking more free firing, but because this game's elevated a bit, every little advantage we can use in our favor. Now in that last sequence, I also spotted Matthew to my right. So he's in position, and we've kind of formed the front line for us for now.
Sounds like they're on the exterior.
Now we're going to find out soon that an enemy has taken up this position here. Now it's behind a barrier, a legitimate tire barrier. It's right along a little tree line here. And you have concealments even when you're back there, it's dark. Now, throwing this out there, a lot of players, experienced players, wouldn't go there because it is a new power position. Maybe I'm not trying to insult it calling new, but it is a power position. And usually a walking game, you don't take a power position if you're experienced. A lot of times you'll put a brand new player there. But the way things are going today and this elevation of competitiveness, that will not stray one of the big three from going to take this position shortly.
Like a game of chess, but with angry men. There's two on the right. Yeah, I got that. Guys, they come in on the left.
Okay, I just fired a couple of shots. You might have thought I was shooting at that power position, but there's another position, another good position. Kind of power position, not as OP as that other one, but I spotted a guy around here, and I don't see him here, but I'm firing a couple of shots over his head, and it's precious shots. I mentioned we got MAGFED, and they've been waiting for us to run out of ammo all day. But after a bunch of games, over half a dozen games playing this style, I am a little conservative with my ammo, but I let the guy know I'm there. I don't know that the guy's in the OP spot yet, by the way. Matthew on the right, he confirms he sees two other players on his side. So we've identified 4 of the 5 players on the other side. So things are going all right now.
I guess if I can see through the gap, he can shoot through it.
Okay, so I am peering through some gaps in the tires again. Now Connor's starting to be a little bit more vocal, and he spots a guy in the OP position. Now a couple of shots will whiz by me here. I'm not sure if they're shooting at Connor, maybe longballing him, or if it's retaliatory shots at me, because remember I fired shots around there recently. But we're engaging with the 2 known enemies we have on our side. So kill hit has been taken out. It's a 3v5. Already mentioned quite clearly we're at a pretty big disadvantage in this game type on this map, in this situation after all these games. So it hasn't gotten any easier. But I was going to say we haven't thrown a towel. We don't actually have a towel to throw in, but if we did, we wouldn't throw it in. Now Connor he keeps focusing. One of his strengths is he focuses. From the first start of a game to the end of the game, he's focused on the game. Whether I can kind of lapse at things. It's just the way I am. It's one of his strengths on that. So he wants to make sure that I'm focused on those two guys ahead of me. Now he mentions out loud, very vocally, you know, that guy in the spot up there, is that a good spot? Is he allowed there in the OP spot? Now the ref's right here. And he'll kind of nod to me and he's going to be, you know, like, yeah, he's good there. So we're down a guy. This guy's kind of in this OP spot. Ref acknowledges it's cool. So Connor's going to unleash one of his other kind of weapons. He's going to start being vocal. Not trash talking, demeaning the other team, but kind of egging them on. Kind of just, you know, using his mouth, maybe distract it. Nothing insulting or that, but draw their attention, because if they're focused on him and what he's saying, we might be able to catch him maybe leaning over in the open, or we can move up ourselves. So that's the stage we're at right now. Now it's important for me to mention, I mentioned next game. That was in reference to like the guys in that OP spot. Normally you shouldn't go there if you're experienced. This is about as trash talky as I get, because of course normally when you play a scenario in a certain map on the field, you each take a turn spawning on each side. So by me saying this, I'm kind of implying, look, if they want to go there and do that, we can do it the next game. Once again, it's about as trash talky as I get. I'm serious and not serious at the same time, but in this case, for this day, a little bit more serious.
Oh, elevated? I see his mask. No, ref's got an angle on him. Next game, next game.
All right, maybe it's because Connor kind of ticked him off, or ticked him off, that he called him out for possibly not being in a good spot. That guy in the OP spot fires. He's going to end up, we're going to exchange a couple of shots. He's going to end up getting me in the chest, but it doesn't break. So basically, I lean over once, we exchange a shot each, nothing connects. Go to cover, go back again. This time, my shot kind of goes wild. He does hit me in the chest, but the ref's right beside me, and I kind of like look down and I kind of go like this. You see my hand, where I kind of go to the ref like, it didn't break. He acknowledges, no, it didn't break. So I'll go back behind cover, and thankful I'm still in the game. And by the way, I didn't blind fire or just lunge out trying to shoot him guessing. I did peer between the tires and I did see his head pop out, so I'm using that to my advantage.
That is cool.
All right, this is a good view of both those power positions the enemy is on the southeast part to our left, as you're watching in the camera there. And Connor's been exchanging some long balls with the two of them there. Now I'll soon fire a shot to the guy on the right, and a couple of shots. One hits him, but I just had one hit me and didn't break, so I didn't see it splash. It's quite a distance, but I do call, him to check the hit. And I'll keep firing a couple of shots over his head even after, just to, if he's not hit, he may think like, oh boy, I got lucky, I didn't get out. Now he's still firing shots on me. Maybe he'll move out of there and give us a little relief on that side.
Check. Wait. Let's keep it quiet here, guys. Let's let them guess where we are.
Now to my right, the corner of my eye, I turned because I saw an enemy player going up. It's actually the dad from the father-son team. And he will be going behind this barrier here. It's hard to kind of see the barrier because when I turned to shoot at him, I hit my own cover in front of me. But he's going behind here. Now, since the only shot I probably could have gotten with was that one that I hit my own barrier with, but I will keep shooting over him because I would like him to, under this pressure, to maybe go down to the right a bit, because that would put him more to the outside of the map, and possibly, because I got Matthew to my right, put him in the line of sight and Matthew can take him out. So will it work? It's a good idea, but let's see what happens.
He's to your right.
So I'm back to the left, and I'm actually really low to the ground. I'm kind of really squatted down, leaning over. That's why I have such a great view of the field here. Before, I was up in a more regular crouch position. So just in case any of those guys in the OP spots had me lined up for a headshot, peering out a little bit lower now, so I may surprise them. And nobody shoots at me. I actually even fire a couple shots here, once again, to remind them we know they're there. So Matthew takes out the dad on the right side. So we're a bit closer now. It's a 3v4. I mean, I would have much rather had one of the big three knocked out, but to be honest, that dad, he's been a good player all day, so really happy to see at least anybody on their team get out.
Good shot, boy.
So Connor is right behind me, and we've been pretty vocal. And there's a time not to be vocal. So you see, I point. I use my hand and I point because I see some movement. There's an enemy moving around here. So it might be one of the two guys in the OP spots, could be another guy. But somebody is creeping up towards us. So I hold out my hand because I don't want to call out to Connor to say I see a guy there, let them know I see the movement. So that's why I'm pointing, because Connor's right behind me. He's got a good view of me. But I'll have to boost the audio a bit. His airline, we get that famous ba-ba-ba. His air tank is, not his line, his tank, is run out of air. So all of a sudden, it's a 2v4. And it's our general with the hopper who's out. I keep mentioning, you know, we're up to the task. We know we're outgunned. We know it's not to our advantage. We're continuing down that path.
Fuck. Whoa! Sharp left! Sharp left!
So Connor is out. And that guy who I saw moving to my left, well, he pops up like a gopher here. Worse than I thought. He's at a sharp angle to the side. And remember, the big three have been sitting back all day. But now, on a 2v4, where they got the 4, they're starting to go in for the kill. Now, this is what I want, right? For them to be mobile. But when there's only 2 of us out there, and we haven't got Connor and his hopper, it's not the right scenario I wanted to see these guys advance in. But it ain't over yet. So I'm going to dig in here. I am left-handed, so leaning to my left is my strong side. I'm standing up here almost fully upright, really hugging the barrier. And I'm fixed where I had the one of the big three, and I mentioned the gopher popping up. I want him to do that again, and I want to take him out. I could get hit from generally that side to straight ahead, but on the right I know I'm covered, but we need something big here, so I'm going to stand firm, and hopefully they make a mistake and I can capitalize. So basically for 25 seconds I held that position. The other player that I was trying to get, he ends up, I guess he can kind of spot me visually, but not with his marker. He ends up leaning close to the ground. He fires a couple of shots. One goes off the barrier ahead of me to the left. You can see the ball here kind of ricochet. Another one goes right to my right, hits the barrier that I'm hugging. But you see, I don't flinch much because he can't quite get me. In order to get a better line of sight on me, he's got to expose himself more, and then I'm in a situation where I can take him out. But as it is, I pull back, and neither of us takes each other out. Now, I've been in this spot for over 7 minutes. They're creeping up on me on the left. We can't sit here all day. So I'm eyeballing this barrier. It looks like it's got pretty good cover. I know I got that guy, the gopher, one of the big three. I'm going to call him Gopher. He's in the barrier, behind that barrier. If I can get in there, especially if he can't see me, or even if he can see me, if he knows I'm right around another barrier, because they've been so generally tentative, I think this will help us. I think it might drive him back. I think I can throw a curveball at him to change this game a little bit more to our favor. So I've paused at this awkward kind of shot you see now. I've run in and kind of slid on my knees the last couple of feet behind this barrier. It's not easy to do at my age. This is where the game is lost. It was already a 2v4, but this is really where the game is lost. Because as I get behind that barrier, I couldn't tell from my previous spot, but there are really big gaps between the tires here. Really poor defensive spot. Now I knew I had that guy who's going to be ahead of me to the left that I tried to get before. There's also one of his teammates sharp right. So it's going to be like fireworks here. They're going to wail into this wall, the barrier in front of me. And paint's going to be breaking everywhere. I'm starting to get splattered in paint. And I'm kind of desperate. I'm kind of leaning, I'm already on my knees. I'm leaning back more. Let's watch it.
Coming out! Please stop!
So let's watch that again. Balls breaking everywhere in front of me. I'm waiting to feel a hit. I definitely got lots of splashes. Until finally, I actually have this. That's the one that hits my hand, hits my finger. Bends my pinky sideways. They're not supposed to do that, so I got a bit of a painful thing to do here in a sec as I retreat off the field and bend that back into shape. And as I get up on top and fix that, behind me, you'll see that with poor Matthew alone on the field, The enemy finally rushes in, takes him out, and the game is over.
Game over.
Okay. A lot of talking. It was a fun one. We realized after the second game of this day that we were in tough against these guys. We didn't back down. We let them play that style. This game was not one of our closer ones even with them. But we did have a stalemate the one before. It was a good challenge. It was fun. It's good to play games that are semi-serious. We weren't raging or anything because we didn't win. It's like, man, that was a tough fight. It's good to put yourself in a situation where it's tough to win. Because if you don't win, as far as I'm concerned, if you don't win and you're at a disadvantage, well, you weren't supposed to win anyway. If you win, well, good for you. Even though we were like that most of the day, there's nothing wrong with it. It's healthy. One thing I will do, though, is Connor switched to a hopper because I had everything for him to switch to a hopper as part of my gear because TMC can convert. The next time I went out, because I've been to the field since I filmed this video, and I will continue, I will bring the attachments, the gooseneck. I only brought the one that day. I'm going to bring it for both Connor and I, that if we ever face the situation again, I can upgrade to a hopper. Does that mean I don't want to do this challenge again, going MagFed against so many hoppers? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but anyway, that's one way I've adjusted. Had a lot of fun. The big three, not dumping on them, they were really good players. So would I like to get revenge on them? Of course, I'm a guy. I got testosterone, I got pride. But I go there to have fun, and we had fun. And once again, that father and son on the other team, I'll have them on my side anytime. That's it for this one. I hope it's a longer one. For those that stuck around, thank you. And probably, I don't know which next video is coming out. It's probably one or a goofy one, or maybe it's another serious one. No matter what, if you take a look at that one, if you maybe subscribe to us, I'd appreciate it. Go out there and have some fun. Be nice to the new players, help them out. And if you're facing a bunch of guys like we did, where it was kind of really serious in that, don't cross a line. I mean, you can be competitive and not be an idiot. Well, an idiot, jerk, whatever you want to use. I'm constantly an idiot, but not a jerk. At least I like to think so. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game.